Donald Trump, the president of the United States, is out with an insane tweet about Rosie O'Donnell that I will show you in just a moment. But this is an example of how Donald Trump's immigration policy isn't about getting rid of criminals. It's about punishing anyone he thinks he can, anyone who disagrees with him, anyone he doesn't like. And the reason why Donald Trump made this post that I'll show you in just a moment, which is insane, is because MAGA knows that the Epstein thing is a big issue. This Epstein case that will not go away. So this is Donald Trump's way to try to distract us. Now, we're not the mainstream media. We can talk about two things at once. They're going to be talking about this tweet all day. I'm going to show you it. But first, let's talk about why Donald Trump is posting this. And that's because of what Charlie Kirk asked his audience of young conservatives about the Epstein case.
So what's it going to be, Charlie Kirk?
Can we pan to the audience? I'm curious. How many of you raise your hand think this is a big deal, the Epstein thing? Would you raise your hand? So, I mean, every hand has gone up.
Every hand went up. Conservatives are very interested in this because, like I have been saying, they have created a monster that they can no longer control. But there's obviously some there because if Donald Trump wanted those files out, then they'd be out. Pam Bondi doesn't make that final decision. Donald Trump does. Kash Patel doesn't make that final decision. Trump does. And Laura Ingraham was also asked the very conservative Turning Point USA, this is yesterday, asked the audience about how they think the Epstein case is being handled, and watch their reaction.
How many of you are satisfied? You can clap. Satisfied with the results of the Epstein investigation? Clap. Okay, I told you to clap. You guys aren't listening. I'm not going to grade you on a curve. So I was going to get to that. How many of you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation?
She was not expecting that. They have really put themselves into a bind. And so that's the reason why I'm bringing you this tweet today. Because Donald Trump posted this hours ago saying, because of the fact that Rosie O'Donnell is not in the best interests of our great country, I am giving serious consideration to taking away her citizenship. He cannot do that. He does not have the power to do that. He can't do it. I'm sure he wishes he could do that, but he cannot do that. But the fact he is saying that, let's not look past that, because it is insane for the President of the United States to openly consider about whether or not someone who was born here, born in New York, is allowed to remain a citizen. He goes on to say, she is a threat to humanity and should remain in the wonderful country of Ireland if they want her. God bless America. Okay, so this is obviously catnip for the media who has the attention span of a 7-year-old with ADHD, which, by the way, I have ADHD. I can make that joke. And I want to just say that, like I said in the top, this when we've been saying that Donald Trump's plan to take away citizenship from naturalized citizenship or naturalized citizens, that wasn't going to end there. That was just the beginning. And this is the continuation of this authoritarian streak within him and trying to use any powers or create new powers that the president doesn't have. And it's very scary. But it's also happening because he wants to distract us. So there's obviously some there. Now, I have Rosie O'Donnell's response, which is brilliant. Because she said two things. But first, she just posted this an hour ago. Has already 22,000 likes. And what's going to happen is the media is going to talk about this story. They're going to talk about Donald Trump's insane post. And then they're going to talk about her response. So he tried to take away the narrative from the Epstein case, and Rosie O'Donnell wasn't letting him have it. It's very smart. She says here, "Hey Donald, you're rattled again. 18 years later, and I still live rent-free in that collapsing brain of yours. You call me a threat to humanity, but everything you fear: a loud woman, a queer woman, a mother who tells the truth, an American who got out of the country before you set it ablaze. You build walls, I build a life for my autistic kid in a country where decency still exists. You crave loyalty, I teach my children to question power. You sell fear on golf courses. I make art about surviving trauma. You lie, you steal, you degrade. I nurture, I create, I persist. You are everything that is wrong with America, and I'm everything you hate about what's still right with it. You want to revoke my citizenship? Go ahead and try. King Joffrey with a tangerine spree tan. I'm not yours to silence and never was. Rosie. Very good. Let's just give a round of applause for Rosie O'Donnell. Can you imagine the President of the United States coming after you personally? And she handled it like a champ. I'm glad she felt the need to take care of her kids and to not be here. Because clearly, Donald Trump has something in his brain that is just broken when it comes to her. She really did strike a nerve way back when she first came after Donald Trump, and it's obviously never healed. The wound she created never healed. Jimmy Raskin is also in the news as it comes to Epstein, and he says that Trump should release them.
Right. Well, look, they've been promoting some like wild conspiracy theories about what's on there. We don't know what's true and what's not true. And if there's nothing to implicate Donald Trump, then release the files. What's the problem with releasing them? That's what they've been demanding. And in this,
yeah, just release them. If all is good, then release them. So he went on to say a couple days later that he is going to talk to Chairman Jim Jordan, and he's going to do this.
It'd be much better for everybody to come clean, and let's vindicate the public interest here. I'm going to be asking Chairman Jordan to call for a hearing where we subpoena the Attorney General and Dan Bongino and Kash Patel to come in and tell us everything that we know, because this thing is really spinning out of control at this point, and there's one way to put it to rest, which is to come clean, as President Trump promised he would during the campaign.
I love it. I love it. Use their own powers against them. And I'm just going to end with this because, well, let me just mention this real fast, because Glenn Beck said that Dan Bongino, who we talked about yesterday, is going to resign. He then deleted this tweet. He said, so incredibly bummed Dan Bongino is going to leave the FBI. We'll see if that happens or not, but obviously there's a lot of movement there that the FBI is very pissed off. And here is what I want to end with is AOC is getting a lot of heat because she posted this. She said, wow, who would have thought that electing a rapist would have complicated the release of the Epstein files? Now, everyone's like, this is a defamatory statement. On the right, they're saying that. First off, she never mentioned anyone. It's brilliant because they're all like, she's talking about Trump. Well, why do you think she's talking about Trump? Why do you think she's talking about Trump? She has plausible deniability, so she can't get sued for this. Secondly, it's amazing that they think it's about Trump. Probably is, but it's amazing MAGA just goes straight there, isn't it? Isn't it? Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like on the video. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. We're almost at 600 subscribers. Yeah, please do subscribe. I think we're like 400 away. 600,000 subscribers. Wow, that's so many. I'll see you next time. Bye.